I was tagged a video from Mark Carroll's Instagram page about 3 months ago. It was from a client of mine, and he was talking about basically that all calories were equal. So that's what it was all about. Like regardless whether it's processed food or you're eating meat, that they're all equal calories.
Yeah.
And he was saying that whey protein is good for you, processed food is good for you. And if you look at my previous video that I did on Mark, I showed I showed the audience what he eats. So he follows a flexible diet approach where basically he eats about 80% of his diet is clean food, and then 20% he's allowed to pretty much wherever he wants, once it fits within his macros. So what that means is, let's say the standard guy is on 2,500 calories a day. So if that person's eating, say, 1,600 calories of clean food, well, then he can get the extra 900 calories coming from shit food. So
Yeah.
it will total up to 2,500 calories. That's
Hmm.
what a lot of people do. A lot of people just focus on the calories. Once your calories are met, you will lose weight and you will look amazing. Yes, you will. I have
Yeah.
never once denied this ever in my life, but you
But
are going to mess up your health massively.
yes, yes.
And we are live. Welcome to another episode of the Carnivore Evolution podcast. Today we have our special guest, Victoria. Victoria is my co-host, as always. Victoria, how are you today?
I'm very well. How are you, Mark?
I'm very, very well. It's just going to be yourself and myself today. I wanted to get you on because I want to speak about something that I feel is important. Anybody who follows me on Instagram, you will know that I did 4 videos on this. And I wrapped it up pretty much a couple of days ago because I was speaking a lot on it. And I don't want to come across that I hate this guy. I don't hate him at all. But the thing is, I actually reached out to this guy a long, long time ago, months ago, and I had made him aware that this is going to catch up on you eventually. And unfortunately, it did. So we're going to talk about steroids, guys, and we're going to talk about how dangerous they are. Everybody gets sucked into how these people look. I get it; they have the big muscles, they have the six packs, but we have to get back to reality here. People are losing their lives very, very young, and it's not healthy, and it's not natural to get that big. It's
Yes.
not natural. You're carrying too much weight, you're carrying too much muscle, and the most important muscle you have in your body is your heart. I've always said it.
Yeah.
Once your heart is gone, that's it. Nobody cares what you look like when you're in the box. Nobody cares.
Exactly.
So I
Yeah.
understand that's all, because I understand it's all about ego and it's all about body confidence, and you look fantastic. I get it. I've been there myself. I know what it feels like, but we need to get back to some common sense here. It's not good, and it's rampant at the moment. Everywhere.
Absolutely. It's so
Yeah.
scary how prevalent it is. Really.
Peptides, TRT, GLP-1s,
Yes.
steroids. It's just that everybody knows injecting themselves.
And some really strange stuff that we know from Connor Murphy that he was doing.
Yeah,
Some unusual stuff. So we'll talk about that too.
yeah. So I'll give you a little rundown, guys, of how this all happened. So I was tagged a video from Mark Carroll's Instagram page about 3 months ago. It was from a client of mine, and he was talking about basically that all calories were equal. So that's what it was all about. Like regardless whether it's processed food or you're eating meat, that they're all equal calories.
Yeah.
And he was saying that whey protein is good for you, processed food is good for you. And if you look at my previous video that I did on Mark, I showed I showed the audience what he eats. So he follows a flexible diet approach where basically he eats about 80% of his diet is clean food, and then 20% he's allowed to pretty much wherever he wants, once it fits within his macros. So what that means is, let's say the standard guy is on 2,500 calories a day. So if that person's eating, say, 1,600 calories of clean food, well, then he can get the extra 900 calories coming from shit food. So
Yeah.
it will total up to 2,500 calories. That's
Mm-hmm.
what a lot of people do. A lot of people just focus on the calories. Once your calories are met, you will lose weight and you will look amazing. Yes, you will. I have
Yeah.
never once denied this ever in my
Yeah.
life, but you
But
are going to mess up your health massively.
yes, yes,
Guy, there's the
yes.
problem right there. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So basically, you're putting a band aid on the problem by taking steroids because everybody sees this illusion. So
Mm-hmm.
you might look healthy from the outside. You have the
Yeah.
six pack, you have the muscles,
Mm-hmm.
you're very skinny, you look
Mm-hmm.
incredible, but nobody has a clue what goes on the inside of the body. Nobody
Yeah.
has a clue.
Mm-hmm.
All
That's
that
that.
fat that's going around your organs, that's the most important part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's really insidious that that has been with us for going on 200 years now. That
Yeah.
people think that calorie cutting is the way to go.
And it's just unfortunate because I did say to him months ago, this will catch up on you. I said it to him a
Mm-hmm.
few times and I messaged him a few times. I said, listen, Mark, trust me, this is going to catch up on you. Stop. Stop now because I'm telling you it will. And then 3 months later, um, I saw the pictures.
Yeah,
You saw the pictures yourself.
that's
And
unfortunate.
and
Yes.
what struck me about it, Victoria, is that he has a little girl. He
He
has a
what?
little girl. He has a little girl.
Oh, he has a child. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. He's
And
got yeah.
if you watch the Instagram story, if you watch the Instagram reel that I did
Mm-hmm.
on him, there was 15 pictures altogether, but
Mm-hmm.
I only took 14. The last photograph was a picture of him and his daughter in the
Yeah.
hospital hugging each other.
Oh,
And
for
I
God's
and
sake.
for obvious reasons I didn't want to put that picture up because I
Mm-hmm.
didn't want his daughter all over social
Mm-hmm.
media.
Mm-hmm.
But as a father, looking at that, I was like, oh my God. Like
Yes.
seriously, put
Right.
your fucking health first.
Yes, right, right to
Seriously.
your emotional heart. Yes, yeah, that's scary as hell. And people, they just, why do they not want to know? That's my question. What is the mental block on that? You just can't eat junk food and stay healthy. And he may look healthy. He's a bodybuilder,
Yeah.
right? But he's not. He's not healthy.
See, this is what frustrates me. You cannot say 100 calories of an egg, for example, is the same as 100 calories of eating crap.
No
You know what I mean?
pizza. No, yes,
It's not the same.
not
You
at
know what I
all. I
mean?
never
It
was. Never was.
they're gonna impact the body differently, and response is gonna be differently as well. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So it's just like it's crazy how this is where we're going at the moment. And when you
yeah.
look at what's going on in the world with obesity,
Mm-hmm,
another serious problem.
mm-hmm.
And how come nobody can solve this obesity crisis? Not even Mark Carroll could sort out the obesity crisis. And he's one of the best trainers in the world, apparently, on social media. But he has also said that I don't know how to solve this problem. You're better up on a GLP-1. Now,
Oh gosh. No.
this is coming from world class online coaches.
It's gone from bad to worse. I mean, the guy who had the heart attack gets back on the internet, and his follow up is, "Oh, there's been a lot of misinformation spread about why what happened to me happened."
Mm.
Well, no, that's not misinformation. That's the information. I don't understand the blockage. I don't.
It's just honestly because the thing about it is when you take these steroids, you're thickening the heart. That's what you're doing. You're
Yes,
thickening the heart. And then
he
guess
said
what's going
that.
to happen?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
And
what
then,
happened to him, but he doesn't get why. He doesn't
yeah.
understand why.
And if you watch the video, he mentions that he hasn't come out the dark side yet. He's still struggling. Now, obviously, this should be a wake up call. I can tell you now, if this was me and somebody came out a video about me and they were talking
Hmm.
about the carnivore diet and they were talking about, listen, you need to listen to me. Guess what I'm
Hmm.
going to do? I would have been
Hmm.
on that phone and I would have been messaging this guy.
Yes, find out. What are
Find
they
out.
talking about? There's an
What are they find out?
option here that
Yeah,
you need to take the option. Yeah.
absolutely. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say that I know everything, but I know how to be healthy just as well as you do.
Yes.
Um,
And you're living proof of that.
yeah,
Yes.
you know what I
Living
mean?
as in alive. Yeah.
And the thing about it is, I'm past all the nonsense about how I look. I could not give a shit about how I look now. My goal in life now is longevity. I want to be
Yes.
there for my family. I want to be there for Kaylee. I want to be there when she
Mm-hmm.
has a family. I want to watch her
Mm-hmm.
grow up. That's my purpose now in life.
Yes. Yes.
That's what it's all about for me now. I could not give a
Mm-hmm.
shit about walking around with a six pack or having the biggest muscles or
Mm-hmm.
trying to impress anybody in the gym. That's all gone. I did that in my
Exactly.
20s.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not into it anymore. And thank God I never went near steroids.
Mm-hmm.
I was always against them. But
Thank
the
goodness.
side
Yes. Yeah.
but the one thing I've noticed with people with steroids is how aggressive people are.
Well,
Aggressive.
aren't all those steroids synthetic forms of testosterone?
Yes. Yeah.
So that if you're taking one or taking two or taking three and stacking them up, it's all a overload of testosterone. And even people who don't bodybuild know that that's not exactly the healthiest thing for
And think
yourself.
about it. The more you take, guess what's happening to your aggression? It's going up.
Oh, it goes way up. Yeah.
Goes way up. And then add that in with toxins, sugar. And seed oil. It's a recipe for disaster.
Well, this is famous. We know have known about this. I want to say for 30 years. We've known that taking anabolic steroids are going to do this to you. And years ago, there I can't remember his name, a famous wrestler, I believe it was, who died of brain cancer. And he
Oh yeah,
publicized
yeah.
what was going on with him. He made sure the public knew that it was the steroids, that there was a connection, and there was no doubt about it. And he died from brain cancer. But the expression roid rage comes up because it's steroid rage. That is what happens to people. This is nothing new. It's not anything. They think that new formulations are going to be much different? They're not. They may work slowly. They may not have all exactly the same symptoms, but the same damn thing is going to happen to them. Pardon my French. Yeah.
And you know what really frustrates me is because I watch a lot of these videos, and a lot of these bodybuilders will say that, oh, I got blood work. My blood work came back perfect. I'm on steroids. I'm on all this gear, but look at my blood work. My blood work is perfect.
Well,
Absolute
what are they
nonsense.
testing
Nonsense.
for?
That's what I'm saying.
We don't
That's what I'm
know.
saying.
What does that
We need to
mean?
look at. We need to look at. Is it accurate? Is it 100% accurate? Because I am absolutely convinced it's not.
Is it
I
looking
know
at
it.
the correct thing? Is it looking at, well, they want high testosterone levels, and that's what they get. That makes them
Mhm.
happy. But how is that on a scale of nothing to normal? You know,
Yeah,
how does that work for them?
and the thing is, like if you ask any bodybuilder, because I had this conversations with bodybuilders in the past, and I've asked them like, how do you feel? And most of them would say, I don't feel the best. I feel a bit bloated. I'm feeling a little bit off today. I just don't feel the best. Whereas with me, I haven't had blood work done. I don't get blood work done. And guess why I don't get blood work done? Because I feel fantastic.
Yeah, you don't need
I
it because you're
like I
natural as a
why would I
bodybuilder.
go and see the doctor if I wake up every day,
Yeah.
my libido's fine, my testosterone's fine, I'm still killing it in the gym, I still look amazing, my energy's fantastic, I'm
Hmm.
sleeping fantastic. Why would I go and see the doctor? Why would I
Well,
even go and get my blood work done?
because there's a secondary issue with that, like the gentleman who had the heart attack, if he went and got his blood work done and he was told it was good, if he's getting a lipids panel, he's looking at the conventional medicine doctrine that we have been discussing, that he should have low cholesterol. Now,
Mhm.
we know as carnivores that there's research that shows that doesn't mean jack baloney. It does
No.
a low cholesterol. My husband had very low cholesterol the day he had a heart attack. It doesn't mean that you're not
Mhm.
going to have a heart attack if you have low cholesterol. So
Mm.
it's the markers they're looking at may not be correct, and the scales that they're looking at may not be applicable to not having coronary artery disease.
Mm. Mm. Yeah, yeah. It's honestly it's extremely worrying.
Mhm.
And we need to talk about as well that what we're actually listening to at the moment, because a lot of what you and I say apparently is fear mongering. So everybody on social media is talking about that the
Mhm.
carnivore lifestyle, the keto lifestyle, it's not sustainable. It's it's not going to last. All this
Mhm.
nonsense. This is all
Why aren't
fear mongering,
No, why
and
aren't
it's
they
and
afraid of what's actually happening in the world today? There's a worldwide epidemic of heart disease and arterial disease. Why aren't they afraid of what happened to this bodybuilder who had the heart attack, the one with the normal blood tests? That's the reality. That should be scaring people, not what we say about, well, let's look at it from a different angle. What's wrong with that? I don't see
but
it.
I got a list of messages underneath that video, and I'd say about 90% of them were blaming the COVID vaccine for this.
Oh, for crying out loud. That's been over for quite some time. And
Yep.
I don't think that it's as direct an impact as your diet and
No.
taking steroids. And what else? This is what I wanted to talk about. Connor Murphy, if we can mention a name here, was injecting himself with gold.
Hmm.
And this comes along on the tail of the big peptides craze. People are looking at injecting themselves with just about anything now. And I kind of, in a very small sense, have a concept of why he might think that injecting a precious metal might help him. And he even claimed he felt good when he did it. But it absolutely, probably, is not something your body is going to get rid of. It's a metal.
And,
How
and
does
isn't
this
it
happen? Yeah.
and isn't it amazing? So many people were against the COVID vaccine, but now half
Yes.
the population are injecting themselves with peptides,
Yes,
TRT.
yes,
They're
yeah.
injecting themselves every single day, but they couldn't take a COVID vaccine a couple of years
No,
ago.
that's crazy.
Then,
Well, they have a basis in that there was a way that those vaccines were manufactured with some kind of
yeah,
mRNA that was supposedly not conducive to human life. But I've had the COVID vaccine. I've had a few of them with updates, and I'm fine. But that's just
exactly.
anecdotal. There may
Yeah,
be and there may be information that says that there's something wrong from that. So yeah, that happened. But I'm saying right now, here and now, what that guy was doing in the recent past was not conducive to health or living.
absolutely not. And like you, I got my COVID vaccines because I wanted to go on holidays. This was
Yeah.
the only reason I got them
Yeah, we
because they
did
weren't
too.
allowed. We
Yeah.
weren't allowed to go on holidays.
Hmm. Yeah, couldn't
Um,
travel. Mm-hmm.
but 8 years later, Victoria, and I've said this many, many times, I haven't been sick,
Hmm.
not once. I
Yeah,
haven't even
me
had the
neither.
flu, not
Not
once.
from that. Yeah.
And this is what frustrates me is that we're blaming this vaccine, but we're not looking at the root cause of, in my opinion,
Yes.
what the main driver is
Yes.
of heart disease, and that's the food that we're eating, in my opinion.
Yes. Which is very
I
direct
honestly,
and
I
immediate.
honestly
Yes.
believe, I honestly believe that this is what's causing problems to our heart at the moment. And we need to understand this because this is where people just don't understand this.
No.
When people talk about red meat on its own is not the problem. It's what you're
Hmm.
consuming with the red meat is the problem.
Yes. Yes.
You
The
know what I mean? So
carbs
that's
and the
that's what we
plant
need to be looking
oils.
at.
And
So it's
we have
just
proof of that. We have proof of that. Science, modern science, our current science knows why that happens with
mm,
the ROS in the bloodstream and how the cells get attacked. We know what's happening. And it's more immediate than a COVID vaccine you had 8 years ago. But it also has a cumulative effect. So
mm,
it's there. And that's not fear mongering. It's pay attention, examine what you're doing, look at what you're going through on a daily basis, and give it some consideration that this might not be the best thing for you to do.
mm, mm. The thing is, like everybody just wants that quick fix. Everybody just wants it now. I want it now. I
Yes,
don't I don't want to
yes,
wait years. I want it right now.
yeah.
And I get it. I get it.
Mm-hmm,
We all want that we all strive for perfection. We all want to look
mm-hmm.
amazing, but this shit takes
Yeah,
time. It really does.
yeah.
I mean, it really does. And the thing is, like, if you're young, you can put muscle on very, very quickly. But
Mm-hmm,
when you get older, it's not
mm-hmm.
as easy to put that muscle on. So when you see someone who's in their 50s and 60s and they're carrying a lot of muscle mass, It's not rocket science, guys. It's not
Yeah.
rocket science. They're
Hmm.
not doing this naturally.
No, it's true. It's very
You know
true.
what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
not natural. Now, I will never judge anybody for what they do. If you want to do
Hmm.
it, that's your opinion. If you or
Hmm.
sorry, if you want to do it, that's your prerogative. That's absolutely fine. But I will always voice a different opinion because that's what my job is all about, is to give a different opinion. And I believe that this is not natural.
No,
Everybody
and the
keeps on telling me that peptides are natural because they are full of amino acids. All
no,
this,
no.
we only had Gabriel on a couple of months ago,
Hmm.
and he was speaking about this.
Hmm.
And I like Gabriel; he's a doctor.
Yeah.
But I did question him a few times. Why can't this not be done naturally?
Yes, well, I think he believes it does, and he is different from most peptide dispensers in that he believes in microdosing. He doesn't
Mm,
believe in a full dose. And the same thing with steroids. We've known for years that if you look them up on, if you Google what's an anabolic steroid, there's at least a list of 4 or 5 things that can go wrong with your body if you take them.
yeah.
And the same thing for peptides. The same thing for the GLP-1s, the Ozempic, the Manjaros, the Wegovy's. We know what can go wrong. And I posted the other day on Instagram a lawyer who said the lawsuits are coming in now because people are losing their vision, they're having heart attacks, their digestive systems are getting totally hashed up. And there's so many things going wrong with people that they were not warned of, but now we know, we do know. So when the warnings are there for the steroids, why? Do people think they're special, that this is not going to happen to them? Because it
Mm-hmm.
certainly will.
And the thing is, the minute they come off these steroids, Victoria, you just watch. See all those carbohydrates that they're eating. They won't
Yeah.
get away with that. They will look
Okay.
like they will blow up like a balloon.
They'll blow up. Yeah, yeah, they'll get that weight back. And you've seen that happen
Yeah,
when you were doing competitive bodybuilding. When after the show that they take
yeah.
them back to the back room with all the goodies and everything is sugar, and then they gain 20 pounds in one day.
That's what I was
That's
gonna say. Yeah, my
absurd.
one of the guys that was stood next to me on the stage. I got a text message off him the next day, and he literally told me that he had gained 20 pounds in water weight the next day because the amount of food that he ate the night
Carbs. Yeah.
before, just
Mhm.
carbs, just sugar
Yeah.
after sugar after
Mhm.
sugar.
Mhm.
And he was telling me that he couldn't stop eating. He ate for like 4 hours, and it was just binge after binge after binge, and it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
It
That's
is.
what I've always said. That's what an eating disorder looks like when
Shouldn't
your eating
that
habits are
frighten?
literally out of control.
Didn't that frighten him? That's so unnatural and unhealthy that
It should do.
the average person on the street knows that is unnatural and unhealthy. It's not like we're bringing some great revelation to anyone that that is not right. It
And the
just.
thing is, like I'm in my bulking season at the moment. I'm eating a
Mhm,
lot of food. I'm not tracking anything at the moment. Nothing.
mhm.
I'm not tracking anything. So I'm relatively speaking, I'm bulking. Bulking is basically where you're not tracking anything. You're just enjoying life and you're enjoying your training, and that's it. Whereas when you're shrinking down, you're getting ready for stage. That's completely different. That's when you've got everything tied in. Whereas now I'm just relaxed about my food. But I'm walking around now with still a six pack. I'm very very lean. You know what I
Mhm,
mean? I only train 3 days a week.
mhm.
That's all I do, and I'm still killing it in the gym. I'm still getting
Yeah.
stronger. My recovery is
Mhm.
good. And this is what I want to talk about now. This is where we're getting confused, in my opinion, about training. Because I've spoken about this many, many times. My personal views on this is people do way too much training in the gym. Way too much. Now, if you're on gear, you can recover very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. You can train every day if you want to. You can train 3 hours a day if you want to. You're going to recover very quickly. Whereas for me, I can't do that. I'm a natural. I'm natural. So I
Yes,
need to find
natural.
out what
Mhm,
works for my body and what works for my clients' bodies.
mhm.
Now, 9 times out of 10, they're the same as me. They have long jobs, they've got busy families, they've got so much stress going on in their life. Do you honestly think If they've got a lot of stress in their life, I'm going to add more stress by getting them in the gym for an hour and a half.
No, no.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Why?
Mm-hmm.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce that stress
Mm-hmm.
because that's what I can do. I can say, okay, well, I can't focus on the external stress, but I can focus on what you can do. So we feed the brain the right food, so that relieves stress. We don't overtrain anymore. That relieves stress. No more cardio. That
Mm-hmm.
relieves stress. No more
Mm-hmm.
junk volume.
Mm-hmm.
That relieves stress. Sleeping better. That
Mm-hmm.
relieves stress. Managing your stress levels. Like, you know what I mean? Just enjoying life, thinking differently, switching your mindset. Because I do an awful lot of therapy with my clients, and I always say, what you should do is when you wake up in the morning, I want you to switch this straight away. Don't tell yourself you're gonna have a bad day. Tell yourself you're gonna have an amazing day, and you'll be amazed what that slight change
Yeah.
can do.
Mindset is very important for that.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I
Yeah.
believe it's the most important tool that we have. I really do.
Yeah. And I wanted to tell our audience when we say the word gear, we mean those anabolic steroids and
Yeah.
some that may not be anabolic, that are just performance enhancers that are to a lesser degree harmful, but still could be very harmful.
Mm.
And we also mean the peptides.
Yeah,
So
and
yeah,
it's basically
gear is,
anything.
yeah,
It's
that's
basically anything that's cheating, pretty much. That's getting you
cheating.
there faster.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? That's what it comes down to. Like when you look at the GLP-1, you lose weight faster. When you take peptides, steroids, you put
Mm-hmm.
muscle on faster, so you're getting the results faster. Nobody wants to do it naturally anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody just wants to do it. Really, I want it now. I'm not going to wait 5 years to put on 10 pounds of muscle because that's realistically what you're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
As you get older, because you're only putting around two or 3 pounds of muscle a year. So
Mm-hmm.
nobody wants to wait, like say 5 years to put 15 pounds of muscle on. They want
Yeah.
it like in like 6 months, and you can achieve it in 6 months if you're injecting yourself on a regular basis.
Yeah, well, it goes way back to allopathic medicine, way back in our history, world history, that people think that they take an ingredient, it's going to attack a certain condition. And
Mm,
this is repeated over and over again, and certainly big pharma does that. And it's the isolation of that ingredient that's supposed to hit a target. And it's
mm,
not necessarily the case. There are very few things that do that. Now, steroids have been proven to do some work against inflammation, but not necessarily all steroids, and
mm,
not in big doses of the pure thing injected into your body. So the
absolutely.
concept behind that is really why aren't people afraid of that?
Mm. That's the thing, Victoria. Why aren't you afraid of that? Because when we go look at Mark, and we look at Connor, and we look at Gabriel, the young Brazilian bodybuilder, these bodybuilders were younger than me. Like, you know what I mean? This is what worries me is that Connor. I think Connor was in his 30s. I think
Hmm.
Gabriel was only 21.
Oh my
I mean, this
gosh.
this is scary shit, man. It really is. It's really really scary. And what's heartbreaking for me is that nobody in the world seems to understand why this is happening. We're just brushing it aside
Oh, for
because
God's sake.
this is what frustrated me in the
Oh.
comments when
Hmm.
everybody wasn't looking at the food he was eating. They were blaming a COVID injection. And this is
Yeah.
where I'm
Yeah.
like, this guys, and I was like, guys, open your eyes. Seriously, open your
Hmm.
eyes. We are eating like at the end of the day, in the last 50 years, our food system has changed massively. If you
Hmm.
can't see it, you are deluded. You are
Yes.
deluded.
Absolutely.
I
And I've had people fight me on this. They are. They definitely are. They don't want to
it's
hear it. They don't want to know.
and the thing about it is I was in your country a few times, and your country is a lot worse than mine.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
When it
yeah.
comes to the ingredients, holy shit.
It's garbage everywhere.
Oh, it's
Wall to
ridiculous. It's
wall.
ridiculous. It's
It's
ridiculous. Honestly, Victoria, I couldn't get over it.
inescapable.
Yeah.
Inescapable. Every time I go to the supermarket, the crap is everywhere. It's just garbage. And it's being fed to us as if this is helpful. It's not. It's the worst
No,
thing we can do.
yeah, they're literally putting crap into it, and everybody's talking about when they were talking about the COVID vaccines and they didn't know what they were putting into their body. They have no idea what the process shit they're putting into their body. And nobody's ever gonna, because I
Yes.
was listening to an interview today with Naiman. Now I've always said I'm not a big fan of
Yeah, me
Ted
neither.
Naiman at all, and
Yeah.
because of his beliefs on
And carbohydrates.
carbohydrates, and he's a big fan of whey protein,
Yeah.
and um, so this is where I'm not a big fan of Ted at all. I've
Yeah, me
always
neither.
said this, and I listened to it today, and I've got to say it was painful to listen to it,
Oh, sure.
um,
Because he has a
because
huge audience. Yeah.
yeah, because he says that whey protein is just as good as animal protein. Now I'm sorry, but you're wrong.
No.
I don't
No.
care if you're a doctor.
No.
I don't care if you specialize in
Yeah.
health and
Hmm.
you know every. In my
Hmm.
opinion, you know jack shit about protein.
Yeah.
In my opinion,
I'm pretty sure whey is one of the two proteins in dairy products that impacts me in a negative way in terms of ailments and weight gain. It's
yep,
whey and casein, which are inevitable in any dairy product. And when you isolate whey, there's not anything you can do to it that's going to stop it from being inflammatory. It may not raise your
exactly.
blood sugar, but that's a whole different issue. It's an inflammatory protein that was designed by nature or God, if you want to bring that in,
Yep.
that it's meant to increase growth. It's a growth factor protein, that and casein, and there are others as well, minor proteins. That's what's wrong with whey.
It doesn't
Not
come close. The bioavailability doesn't come close to animal
and yeah.
protein, and
No, it
that's what
doesn't. It doesn't
and that's
support
what
that either. Yes,
yeah,
yeah.
and that's where we need to get back to some common sense here, because that's where we're going at the moment. Everybody's buying these
Yeah.
BCAs, protein
Hmm.
powders, They're spending more money on supplements instead of real food.
Yes.
How do
Yes.
we change that?
I don't know. It's just such it seems like human nature, but I don't think so. I think it's been taught. And I hope and believe that we can teach it the other way, to question that, to not do that.
Well,
It's just so
that's what I think as well. I
yeah.
think the only way
Mhm.
it only works if we just keep on questioning it and say, well, listen, hang on a second.
Mhm.
Like we're always going to go back to, okay, you just look around. Look around. You're not okay. It's clear to see
Mhm.
many people are struggling. Now, if you ask these people, what are you doing? I guarantee it. First of all, low fat. I'm taking
Oh yeah.
supplements.
Yes. Number one.
I'm taking
Yes.
I'm
Supplements.
having yeah
Okay.
protein bars. I'm
Mm-hmm.
having oats in the morning. It's the same crap
Proteins,
over and over and over
vitamins,
again.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So
And
it's like
eating, yeah. Yeah.
what has changed? So if you were, let's say you were struggling, you were listening to this podcast now, and you're like, okay, I've never heard of these two people before, but you're like, you are struggling, you're obese, you're probably a type 2, you're in pain. What's the solution? Because all you keep on doing is listening to the same crap. You've been talked about, or sorry, you're going to be spoken to about fiber. You're going to be talked about low calories. You're going to be talking about what else? I don't know. Again, we spoke about low fat. They're going to talk about how
Mhm.
carbohydrates are your main source of energy.
Yes.
Like, when does it stop? When do you say to yourself, well, maybe, just maybe, these two lunatics maybe is onto something here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Well,
like,
anything you put in your body should be suspect and examined. You shouldn't just eat anything. I mean, we're not infants who would pick up anything unidentified off the street and eat it. That we need to examine what we eat in the first place, and
mm,
why that does not occur to people immediately when they become conscious from being asleep. It is just a mystery to me. You
it
need to
really
really
is.
examine what you're eating.
It really is. No, it's just, it's extremely worrying, and it's just, I've always said that when it comes to a bodybuilder's diet, I don't care what anybody else tells you, it's probably the worst diet out there, because this diet will lead to plaque buildup. I guarantee
Hmm.
you.
Hmm.
I guarantee it. Just because as you mentioned at the very, very beginning, you might look incredible, but all that buildup is happening around your heart. And this
Yeah.
is these are the organs that are extremely important. This is what matters, guys. That visual fat around your organs, that the fat that we can't see,
Hmm.
that's what matters, not how you look. You look at me, everybody would look at me and say, well, he's healthy, but nobody has a clue what goes on the inside of my body.
Yes,
Nobody.
exactly.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And that was the biggest light bulb moment for me when I came to carnivore. It's like
Hmm.
I've been wrong all this time. I thought how I'm going to be healthy is what I see in the mirror. So when I look
Well,
at myself in the mirror and I see the six pack, I thought I was healthy.
or what you see in a magazine.
Yeah,
Women tend to idolize slender model type women, other women. Being slender is so important to some women that they will starve themselves. That is their whole ideology. And men have this idea that the bulked up, built up, Grecian statue looking guy is what is healthy. And they don't care what it takes to get them there. They just want to be there.
the hardest sell. I think I mentioned this at the weekend, Victoria. The hardest sell I have with, especially with female clients, is trying to convince them to eat more food.
Yeah, yeah, I
It's the
understand
biggest.
that. Well, you
It's
convinced me, and I've lost 10 pounds since I started a few months ago doing that, and it's not going to hurt you, ladies.
so you basically ate more. You ate more and you lost weight.
Exactly, exactly
Wow,
true. Yeah,
there you go.
and I ate more of the things that you'd think would not be conducive to that. I ate more protein. I lowered my fat a bit and ate more protein. So
There you go.
it's going to happen. And but I'm still having the fat. So protein and fat are my primary sources of diet.
And I think it's important as well that as you get older, your protein does go up.
Oh, it's very important because old
Very,
people
very
live on
important.
tea and toast. Tea and
Yes.
toast, just a piece of bread in the morning and a cup of coffee. That's all they want. They want their biscuit and their
Yeah.
cookie or their
Yeah.
granola bar, some kind of starch and a cup of energy like tea or coffee. And it's very sad.
Because I think someone who's in their 20s to activate protein synthesis, they probably need around 25 grams of protein just to activate it.
Yeah.
Whereas when you get into your 50s, you're
Hmm.
probably going to need an extra 15 grams to activate it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
you're not going to get away with if you have 25 grams, it's not going to be enough.
Well,
So I always
Donald.
say,
Yeah. Sorry, Donald Lehman said that it was 30 grams, but that's an
so yeah,
average.
yeah, an
That's an
average, yeah,
average.
it should be a little, it
And
definitely should be a
that's
little bit more.
that's the threshold. You can
Yeah,
have a
so
little
for
more and it won't
yeah,
hurt
so for
yourself.
so let's say for example, let's say the average female is 160 pounds. For every gram, you should be aiming for 1 pound of protein per 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So
Okay.
if you're 160, it's
Hmm.
160 grams of protein.
Hmm.
Now that's for the average person. But
Hmm.
as you get older, I will always favor between 1.2 and
Hmm.
1.3 per pound of body weight. So that 160, let's say someone in their 70s, that 160 would be around 190, maybe 200.
Yeah. I truly believe in that. And I can see it now, understanding that and witnessing people who are in my age group. I'll be 75 this year in a few months. And it's so evident. Now, I was looking at the internet the other day, and a picture of Clint Eastwood, the actor, came up. He's 96 years old, and he's all bent over like this.
Yeah.
He's not getting any damn protein.
No,
Protein is the basic component of building bones, not calcium supplementation, because you can't use the calcium if you don't have the protein to support the structure. So you need to understand how important protein is to your life.
like you said, protein is the building block to our hormones,
Yes.
the building block, not
Mm-hmm.
fats. I've
Mm-hmm.
always said this.
Yeah,
This is why
protein.
I don't agree with Dr. Kiltz.
Mhm.
Fat is not the most important macronutrient
Correct.
we have. Nowhere
It's
near.
right there as a second. It's
Yeah.
important as a second, but without the basis. of proper protein intake for your body at your age and activity level, you're not going to get those benefits. And
Yeah,
you are going to end up like Clint Eastwood, all bent over like a question mark.
absolutely. So that's what I'm saying. We don't want to confuse things. When we look at animal protein, it comes in its perfect form. You're getting the
Mhm,
fat and you're getting the protein. That's
mhm.
very important. You do not want to go for the lean source of protein, guys. We've all done this. When you do that, you're removing energy from the body. We all
Yeah.
know we can go on a high protein diet, but how many of you can last on a high protein diet? Not many.
No, that's
This is
right,
why
too.
Atkins didn't last.
Yeah.
Everybody was doing a high protein diet. They were miserable and they felt like shit. Yes, they looked amazing, but they felt horrendous,
Yeah.
horrendous.
He
And
didn't stress fat enough. Yeah.
and I seen this when I competed. Everybody was on a very low carbohydrate diet, so they took energy out of the body. They were only relying on protein for energy, and it was a very poor energy source to
No,
get it from.
no,
And
that's
this
going
is
to
what this
lead to weight gain and breakdown of muscle tissue and bone,
yeah.
muscle and bone.
And plus your body's gonna break down. You're gonna walk around like zombies. You're not gonna function properly because you have no energy in your body. Whereas when I did it, I was functioning perfectly. Why? Because my protein was low, but my fats were really high. Now
Hmm.
every time I explain this to people, they're like, hang on a second, that's bullshit.
Hmm.
So you're telling me you got down to 3% body fat by eating fat? Yes, I did.
Hmm.
And I've explained this so many times. How I did it was during that time, the last, say, 2 or 3 weeks out from the show, my goal wasn't to build muscle. My goal was to get the leanest I've ever been in my life without jeopardizing my health.
Hmm.
That's what I want to do. I want to step on that stage where I was functioning properly and I was able to kick ass, no problem. No problem. I was able to do that on very high fat. Very high. I felt incredible walking on that stage. Absolutely
What was
incredible.
your ratio of protein to fat in a estimated range? I don't know if you were tracking macros at that time. Some bodybuilders do.
Yeah, I remember vividly, but I remember that my protein intake was under 100 grams a day,
Okay,
roughly.
and your
So I was only
fat.
taking, my fat would have been, I'd say about 120, 130.
Yeah, so not much more, but a little bit more
Yeah.
than the
But my
protein.
protein would have been around maybe about 60 or 70 grams. So it would have been very little. And it would have been like lean sources like egg
Okay.
whites, like chicken breast,
Mm-hmm.
turkey
Mm-hmm.
mince, beef but no fat.
Mm-hmm.
But like my main meal was the keto brick. So my keto brick was always my second meal. Always. Now the reason why I had it as my second meal because I like to train fasted. Now we want to go into those training sessions having a lot of energy. What gave me the
Mm-hmm.
energy to train in those sessions?
The fat.
The fat.
Mm-hmm.
So I was having protein at the start of the day,
Mm-hmm.
but at night time I was having my fats a good amount. As I said, a good about 120, 130. I had a very good night's sleep, but when I woke up the next day, I was ready to go. I was ready to go to war in the
Mm-hmm.
gym. You know what I mean? I was still lifting heavy. I was still training intense. I was still smashing it. And remember, my goal wasn't to put on muscle. My goal was just to basically not lose the muscle mass that I had, just to keep it. And how I kept it was I didn't go into that mindset where if I'm getting leaner, I need to do more reps. I need to do more sets. No, I still lifted the exact same way, and I still trained the exact same
Mm-hmm.
way as I did in my off season. Nothing changed. I didn't
Yeah.
lose any strength both in
Mm-hmm.
the off season and when I was 3 weeks out from the show. That was not incredible. Now my food dropped dramatically, dramatically from the bulking season right down until I stepped on stage. But I was able to maintain my performance in the gym just like that. No problem.
Wow.
No
Wow.
problem.
That's because you maintained your muscle
Yeah,
structure.
yeah.
Yeah. I want to ask you too. There's a famous British. I think he may be a power lifter. And he became a carnivore famously a
Oh,
couple of years ago.
Eddie Hall.
Eddie
Yeah.
Hall, thank you. Yes, has in one. Tell us about what you know about him. he's been able to maintain his body structure, his
He looks
musculature.
incredible now. He looks
It's
absolutely. And
fantastic.
Eddie Hall has come out many, many times, and he has said that if he knew about this 10 years ago, he would have done carnivore all the way during his weightlifting career.
Wow.
This is
So
what he
it is
said many, many times.
it's possible to do carnivore and look like
Hundred
Eddie Hall.
percent, 100%. Look at him.
Wow.
He look. I mean, the guy looks incredible. He's walking around with a
Yeah.
six
Oh
pack now,
yeah.
and I think Eddie now is doing it for the right reasons. Whereas when you look at Eddie Hall's diet, like say
Mhm.
10 years ago, he was consuming a lot of crap. If you go
Yeah.
onto his old YouTube channels,
Hmm.
you will see the crap that he used to eat.
Hmm.
I mean, I think he was eating like 4 or 5 cheesecakes a day,
Oh my God.
a day,
Oh, and
and
that's
then
carb.
he was eating like he was eating up to nearly 500 grams of oats for his first breakfast, and then he was having a
Carb
full
addiction.
fry.
Yeah.
He was having a full fry up with
Yeah.
those oats. So you can imagine the Randall cycle kicking in, the carbohydrates and the fats.
Yeah.
So he
Well,
was literally on the verge of a heart attack.
if he stopped that, then he's gotten healthier and he's broken that cycle of carb addiction, sugar addiction.
But you look at the other Eddie, what's his name? Eddie Abu. Eddie Abu
Yes.
was a bodybuilder, a
Hmm.
serious bodybuilder. Now Eddie Abu has
Yeah.
said many many times that he was enhanced. He was I think he was on the Olympia stage.
Yes.
I used to follow Eddie Abu years ago. Like
Hmm.
Eddie Abu was a massive guy, huge guy,
Yeah.
freak, absolute freak of nature. He
Hmm.
was competing when the likes of Doreen competed. The other big guy, what's his name? Coleman. Uh, what's his
I
name?
don't know that one.
What's his name? And Jay Cutler. Ronnie Coleman. Have you ever heard of Ronnie Coleman?
No, I haven't. I'm not
Okay,
that.
Ronnie Coleman
I know
is
Eddie
like
Boo,
this
but I don't know
massive.
Ronnie Hall. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, well, Ronnie Coleman was this massive, massive, massive bodybuilder, but he was lifting a lot of weight, but his diet was horrendous. If you look at him now, Victoria, he's literally in a wheelchair.
Oh, that's terrible.
He's
That's sad.
he's walking around. He's walking
Yeah.
around. He's hunched over.
Hmm.
Um, he's in a bad way. His knees are in a bad way, and that's all the damage that he's done from all that heavy lifting in the gym and his poor diet.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And when you look at the likes of Dorian Yates also did steroids in the past, but his training style was a little bit more smarter. He just went
Uh-huh.
into the gym and done basically what I do. You just go into
Hmm.
the gym, you do enough, and then you get out of the gym, and that's what you're done. When you
Hmm.
look at Jay Cutler's training style, he done high volume, but he never went to maximum failure on his
Hmm.
sets. He just went to failure, but not maximum failure. The difference between
Okay.
him and Dorian Yates was Dorian Yates just couldn't do another rep. Couldn't do
Hmm.
another rep. Whereas Jay would do reps of 12. He would feel the muscle burn, and then he would stop.
Hmm.
So these guys were able to recover because they were on the gear, and they didn't tax their joints because they weren't lifting crazy amount of weight in the gym. Which
Hmm.
is what Ronnie Coleman did. Ronnie Coleman
Hmm.
was putting a big heavy squat bar on his back. He was trying to squat like with 600 pounds, crazy weights, crazy weights.
Wow.
And like I said, nobody on the planet is meant to be that big. Nobody.
Hmm.
That's scary. Like this guy was
Yeah.
nearly 300 pounds in weight. That's a lot of weight to carry.
Yeah. Well, a
You
lot
know
of
what I
that was
mean?
potential if they're doing the gear.
Yeah, yeah. But that's what I'm saying. That's still a lot of weight on your
Hmm.
body. And imagine all that weight on your little heart.
Yes, that's
Recipe for
ridiculous.
disaster.
Yeah, because you don't want an enlarged heart. You don't
No,
want to build your heart as a muscle because that's really bad. Yeah, and
I
your heart
remember.
is what it is. Yeah.
I remember the time when I was obese. Like I was quite heavy myself, and I always said every time I walked up the stairs, I was out of breath. No, I mean out of breath. I was like, I thought I was gonna have a heart attack. I get to the top of the stairs and I'd have to put my head down, like, and that was only like 10 steps. And I was like, my God, this is not normal. And I could hear my heart pounding like really,
Yeah.
really fast, like really, really.
Overworking.
And I used to be sweating walking up the stairs. And I used to say to myself, this is not normal. There's no way. I'm not
No.
meant to be this heavy.
Yeah. I remember
And when
you
you look
telling me that you asked your coaches
yeah,
about
and they
that.
were telling me like, listen, like you're meant to be doing this. This is what you're trained for
Oh.
because you're a rugby player, and this is what you're meant to be doing on the field. We need to get you big and bulky.
Mm-hmm.
But these people haven't got a clue what big and bulky means because you can get
Yes.
big and bulky naturally. You look at the All Blacks. This is when we were having a conversation with Dr. Shafee. When you look at the All Blacks now, they're the best team in the world with the South Africans because
Mm-hmm.
every one of them are ripped to shreds.
Mm-hmm.
There's no fat on these athletes.
Yeah. Yeah.
They look incredible. Whereas you
Mm-hmm.
look at our lads, most of them are overweight.
Yes.
They're big
Unfortunately.
guys. They're massive guys, but they're carrying a lot of weight. And when you see someone who has a beer belly, that's a sign of insulin resistance.
Absolutely, of inflammation in the body. It's a huge sign. And as I walk through my state, Arizona, and I'm out in public, I see it so much more than I used to. Men looking like they're more than 9 months pregnant, and they don't seem to mind at all. They just
No,
waddle along. They don't get it. They don't see it as a red flag.
it's a major red flag, babe. It really is.
Very
Honestly,
sad.
I think the most important thing is here is and the takeaway message I'm going to say is that no matter what, your priority always should be your health and nothing else.
Yes,
And you should
yes,
look at food as just fuel and not entertainment and
mm,
forget about all the
yes.
nonsense
Thank
that
you.
we're eating at the moment.
Yes.
Just eat proper food.
Mhm.
That's it. Proper,
Yeah,
whatever that is, just eat proper food.
yeah,
Comes out of the ground. That's it.
and avoid the ideation of the extremes of the very thin woman and the very husky, hyper built man. These things are not where they're not normal. They're not where we should be, and that's not
Exactly.
health.
Exactly.
Uh,
Exactly. I think we'll wrap it up there. Anything else you want to say?
No, I think we covered quite a lot. Thank you very much. That we really
All right.
need to say this. We need to get this message out to people. This is not the way to be.
We do. And guys, if you're enjoying our show, please subscribe to our channel because a lot of
Yes.
people have been reaching out to me this week and they're saying that they're enjoying the show, but they're not subscribing. So you would do us a
Hmm.
massive, massive favor if you subscribe or put a little like or put a little share on the video. It would mean a lot to us.
Yes.
Because we're trying to get these videos out to as many people as possible. The algorithm is not on our side, unfortunately. So
Yeah.
any little bit of help you guys can give us, we'd be
Yeah.
eternally grateful.
Yeah, we're not making money on this. We need the likes, the shares, and the comments for circulation to get our message out to people. If you appreciate what we say, and help other people find out about us by doing a subscribe to our channel. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
I think that's the most important thing. There's a lot of people out there that need help. And what I want them to do is listen to one or two of the podcasts first.
Yeah, to
Because
get them on
that's
the
what I'm getting
road.
at the moment. That's what I'm getting at the moment. I'm getting a lot of people reaching out to me and saying that when we listen to the podcast, it's amazing. Now I feel like I'm ready to work with you, which is fantastic, which is what we want. But I would never force anybody to come on with me. I would rather you do your research first. Do your
Yeah.
research, learn about what we're talking about. If it makes sense and you're saying to yourself, I might actually give this a go,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm dealing with one of these issues that he speaks about, um, and you're looking for somebody to help you, reach out to me.
Yeah.
Reach
And
you can
we're
reach out to me. Victoria puts my email below. You can always reach out to me. You can always reach out to Victoria, and yeah, I'm pretty sure we can help you because
yeah,
my
we're
record speaks for itself. I'm getting result after result after result, and it's all down to this lifestyle. That's why I'm so passionate about it. And
yeah.
I understand that the body now a lot more than what I did when I was taught nutrition in school a long, long time ago.
Me too. Me too. All the nonsense I learned in school. But we're not here to sell you pills and potions. We want you to understand how diet works and how you can be healthy and how you can extend the quality of your life.
Absolutely. Well, Victoria, it's always been a pleasure. Until the next one,
Thank you,
I shall
Mark.
see you very, very soon.
Very good. Bye bye. Take care.
Bye bye.